and I'm delighted to stand before the House today to support the Local Government Act 2002 Amendment Bill in its second reading. All one could really say, Mr. Speaker, with regard to the last speaker, is what about the bill, Phil? We heard an awful lot of criticism of how Phil felt and what the bill might do, but we didn't really hear too much about the bill itself. And I know in his heart of hearts, Phil Twyford thought that parts of it weren't really too bad at all. As the chair of the Local Government and Environment Select Committee, I'm very cognizant of the need for this bill to be passed into law and of the issues surrounding it. And I'd like to thank the Select Committee for working so tirelessly, all members, for working so tirelessly on making the bill it is, and I think we've got the balance just right. I commend, if I may, I'd like to commend the Minister for Local Government for introducing the bill and bringing these things into good order. In spite of what we've heard from the previous speaker, I found, and I continue to find, that local government is supportive of the thrust of this bill. They are supportive of it. And when you think of it, local government really are a business. Businesses like to be accountable to their shareholders. They like a good relationship. And this will help them have a better relationship with their ratepayers. The general purpose of the bill is to make local authority decision-making more transparent and more accountable. There's only really one question that needs to be asked, Mr. Speaker. Only one question that needs to be asked. Does the bill do that? Answer, yes, it does. The bill also reflects the principle that local authorities should focus on core services and operate within a defined fiscal envelope. As rates go up, and think of those people, the members on the other side of the House should think of those people who are on fixed incomes, as they see rates going up, it's a bit overwhelming for them. And this defines the activities. It will simplify the decision-making process and level the playing field to better enable the private sector to deliver council services. This will improve the financial management of local government. But let's look first, Mr. Speaker, at the issue of transparency and accountability. I'd like to acknowledge the minority view of the opposition, so roundly expressed, as detailed in the Select Committee report, that believes this bill would do the opposite of what it intends to do. Let's see what they say when we explain how misguided their view is. Labour and the Greens believe that by removing some consultation requirements, the bill could undermine transparency and accountability. I'd like to assuage their fears, Mr. Speaker, that this will not be the case. One must remember that the proposals in the bill have been considered and designed in terms of the broader decision-making framework of the Act. And, you only have to ask, Mr. Speaker, you only have to ask builders, contractors, people who are dependent on work from councils, whether they like this sort of future planning to have it available to them, and they will say yes. The majority of provisions that allow local people to continue to be involved in council decisions and consulted on important issues are retained in the Act. The Act also contains several principles relating to local authorities, requiring them, for example, to conduct their business in an open, transparent and democratically accountable manner. And I don't know of many council officers, if you ask them if they're happy to do that, who would tell you otherwise. They're already required to give regard to community opinions. This bill will provide councils with greater flexibility and discretion to determine how to give effect to this principle. It seeks to simplify council decision-making processes and remove some of the more prescriptive elements of the Act, so that consultation is not merely a quick tick-box exercise. Well, very well, if you wish. Phil Twyford asked me to speak from the heart. Well, I wasn't going to really do it, Phil. But honestly, your point about privatisation about water could not be further from the truth or further from the mark. You're completely wrong on that one, and I look forward to the various parts of this bill being read, and I think we'll have fun with that one. Nobody, no council is going to be compelled to use private services to extend its water. If you think about it from a business point of view, but maybe people on that side of the House are not particularly familiar with a business approach, if you are going to limit the amount of time that a private service is extended, what, I ask my colleagues on this side of the House, what is that going to do to the price? It's going to take it up. If you extend it over a longer period, you can spread your overheads over a longer period, you can reduce your profits because you've got a longer term income, and that's the way it works. The bill's new provisions will give ratepayers better information about their council so that they're in a stronger position to participate when consultation does occur. The provision for the financial strategy. This will provide transparency for the overall effect on the proposal services, debt and investment. And this is a very, very important thing. We had a presentation from the Deputy Auditor General, and he talked about debt levels that councils have. He talked about the need to foresee how much is being spent by councils. He talked about the need for transparency in future funding. And this is very important. Provision is made for a pre-election report produced by the Chief Executive of each local authority. This, in effect, will be a summary of key financial information about each council, covering both the past and the coming 3 years, as well as details of planned projects. Will include a statement that compares rates, rate increases, borrowing and returns on investment with a target set in the financial strategy. Mr. Speaker, with this bill, ratepayers will have a greater confidence in local government, and I must say I'm very pleased to have been part of the planning process. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.